Alright, so Cyberpunk 2077 has received a reasonable amount of criticism over its combat being lackluster. And while I personally think it's a bit more of a skill issue, and that's even directed at myself, there is always room for improvement. So in this video, I wanted to cover 5 mods that will dramatically overhaul the combat in the game and make it a superior experience for everyone. Modders have been doing a great job at reworking the movement, brutality, abilities, and balancing, and some of this will even bleed into general gameplay and not just the combat itself. So there's a lot of exciting mods to go over in this video, but before we do, a brief message from this video's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends now has 600 champions from unique factions, each with their own lore in the world of Teleria. And one of the best is the High Elves with a killer backstory. Their homeland Aravia has been around for thousands of years, surviving the fall of the Lizardman Empire, helped humans form into civilizations, and defeated the orcs when they formed a huge horde. And then Sirath, the Lord of Darkness, nearly wiped them out in a civil war. But Aravia survived, rebuilt, and is stronger than ever. And now the High Elves are stacked with some of the greatest of champions. Alexander the Sharpshooter, aka Simple, Eris, a champion who could wipe out enemies with her beauty alone, and Tachura Rhymehide, a unique non-humanoid. And this month, Raid just got a huge update with a brand new faction, the Sylvan Watchers, adding great new champions, including Forest Elves and Strudes and Fays. There's even a full lineup of events along with a new season of the Forge Pass, offering the most powerful gear the game has ever seen. And better yet, Amazon Prime members can get their rewards too. So if you're new to the game and click my link in the description or scan my QR code here on screen, you'll get unique bonuses worth $30, including Epic Champion Ina, 200k silver, 1 energy refill, 1 XP boost, and 1 ancient shard. All this treasure will be waiting for you here, and it's that easy. Just click the link in the description, and I'll see you in the game. Thanks again to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Alright, so let's begin with a mod that completely rebalances the very hard difficulty in Cyberpunk 2077. A difficulty that isn't exactly very hard. We'll be doing this with a mod called Hardcore 44 Realistic Combat Overhaul by Courtlong50 and Raj307. A mod that greatly speeds up the TTK for both the player and NPCs, taking the outdated bullet sponge gameplay that RPGs are known for and turning it into a fast-paced shooter experience. It's not just some cheat mod that makes things easier to kill, as you're also going to be a lot easier to take down, with your enemies dishing out a lot more damage, especially at the higher levels. I've already died more testing this mod than I did during my entire very hard playthrough, as it's the kind of mod that ensures you will die, forcing you to actually adapt your playstyle to different scenarios. It truly does make the combat a lot less forgiving and actually makes your enemies a worthy threat. So if you're wanting to spice things up and say goodbye to bullet sponges while keeping things difficult, because bullet sponges don't necessarily mean it's hard, then this mod is for you. And just as a honorable mention, considering it comes highly recommended to run alongside Hardcore 44, level scaling and balance by RMK, proper level scaling, scales up all of the lower leveled enemies to your level. So with this mod as an addition, you won't be going up against any weaklings that can't even scratch your armor. Now, another issue that I've found with this game is that the weapon stats make for quite some boring gunplay. So that's where Weapon Overhaul comes in, adjusting many of the weapons stats, including magazines, ammo type, reload speed, fire rates, and damage, to make many of the weapons in the game feel more unique and useful. It makes adjustments to the handguns, including the Lexington, Liberty, New, and Unity, the revolvers, including the Burya, Overture, Silverhand Malorian, and Nova, LMGs, including the Defender and MA-70, SMGs, including the Guillotine, Pulsar, and Saratoga, assault rifles, including Ajax, Copperhead, Masamune, and Umbra, power rifles, including Grad, Kolak, QB, and Soar, and shotguns, including Posar, Crusher, Carnage, Igla, Tactician, and Testera. It also has some more unique changes, such as changing the Malorian to use sniper rifle ammo, which is apparently more lore-friendly, converting the Militech Mark II HMG into a standalone weapon, and even makes some tweaks to the amount of ammo crafted, and adds 100 more ammo capacity. So if you're wanting to freshen up your weapons and make them feel a little bit different than what you're used to, this mod is great for that. Now, if you're wanting another way to turn up the variety and difficulty in combat, look no further than AI Netrunners Enhanced by RMK, which addresses the extremely underwhelming Netrunner enemy type in the game that only have one hack at their disposal, that being Overheat, which hits you with a burning status effect. So this mod adds 9 new hacks to the game, some of which were even cut content that are fully functional, bringing the total to 10 hacks, with 5 of them being damage, 4 being control, and 1 being an ultimate. With each netrunner being given a catalog of 3 hacks to use, a minimum of 1 damage and 1 control, chosen randomly based on level. The netrunners will then select from their catalog with a weighted probability, and each hack has a different upload time. So as for the hacks that are actually available, we have, of course, the vanilla overheat, which does low burning damage over time. Then there's burning, which does high burning damage over time. Contagion, which does moderate poison damage over time. Short circuit, which does moderate shock damage over time. Synapse burnout, which does damage equal to 20 to 35% of max health, with higher damage if the player has lower health. Then there's cyberware malfunction, which disables jump cyberware, scanning, hacking, and so on. Reboot optics, which causes a flashing blind effect. Weapon glitch, which disables your guns. Cripple movement, which makes it so that you are slowed down significantly. And the ultimate is imminent system failure, where basically you just die. And while I know a netrunner successfully getting a hack off is quite rare, this just adds a sprinkle of more variety to what you can actually experience and adds more urgency to taking them out in combat. Now, the biggest mod I'll be covering in this video is Time Dilation Overhaul by TeslaCoiled, a mod that completely overhauls the time dilation mechanics in the game with all new features and super unique versions of the Sandevistan. First and foremost, NPCs with either a Sandevistan or Kolesnikov cyberware can now enter time dilation with you, meaning they will no longer be in complete slow motion, and if they have more effective time dilation cyberware than you, they can even still use their cyberware effects. Changes have also been made to the scanner, as you can no longer indefinitely slow down time by activating it and taking all the time in the world to choose quick hacks. With this change, there is now a new status bar that will decay over time while using time dilation in the scanner. If it depletes, time dilation will be removed and the scanner will be in real time until the status bar has completely recharged. And to add a bit more depth to it, the duration of the scanning time dilation and the recharge time are impacted by the player's intelligence score and the quality of netrunner suits, if any. But where this mod really shines is the reworked and entirely new Sandevistans. The damage buffs have been removed entirely due to balancing. They also now deal damage to the user over time, which scales with the time dilation strength, getting worse the more you slow down time. And there's also been an overhaul to the visual effects, which become more apparent the stronger the time dilation. But the absolutely best part of this mod is how each and every Sandevistan manufacturer offers distinct playstyles and unique abilities with the addition of new Sandevistans. We've got Zetatech, which barely slows down time, but greatly increases ranged weapon attack speed. Dynalar, which offers increased defense while blocking with bladed weapons and allows for bullet reflections with katanas, hollow wire, and mantis blades. It also extends the time dilation with each new melee kill. Kyant, on the other hand, offers a high time dilation for a longer duration than any other manufacturer. Militech is kind of the best of both worlds, while also enhancing both ranged attack speed and ranged attack specials, including power, tech, and smart. And this is where things get very interesting, as we're now onto the entirely new Sandevistans, which have the most unique effects. Raven allows you to unload a ranged weapon at max firing speed, so you can turn any weapon into a semi-automatic and fire it as fast as you want, including the ever so sluggish Grad sniper rifle. Fuyutsuki, on the other hand, slows down time to the point of allowing you to slice your enemies without their awareness. It even has the added benefits of a passive increase to defenses while sprinting. And lastly, More, which allows you to instantly blink teleport to a target location and freeze nearby enemies with a freeze AoE, giving you plenty of time to take out the crowd you just leaped into the center of. There's also another very handy addition that you can slot into any of these Sandies, that being the Flux Capacitor, which is used for vehicle time dilation. And while the vehicle doesn't go any faster, turning performance and road grip are greatly improved to assist in taking sharp turns, recovering from a poor drift, or squeezing between objects. And what's even better about this mod is just how deep the customization goes using the native settings UI menu. You can balance this pretty much any way you want, as you have full freedom to change all the parameters of each and every one of the manufacturer's Sandevistons, as well as other settings as well. It also happens to go great with our last mod, Driver Combat Mode by ShinyaON, a lighter Redmod version of the very popular vehicle combat mod that we've covered in a previous video. And while this version of the mod is missing a lot of the extra features, such as the vehicle-to-vehicle combat chases and the gang notoriety system, it does polish the actual experience of shooting from your vehicle, as it has smoothed out the camera transitions and movement to make it feel a lot less janky, added a hotkey to open the door in any vehicle, balanced vehicle damage, consistent on-hit mode for vehicle collisions, neon rims being turned on by default for all bikes, and NCPD sirens and beacons being turned on by default as well. And while it's still not a perfect integration, it's just a fun time to occasionally do drive-bys on the gangs of Night City, and it's just a different way to engage in combat if you don't feel like getting out of your vehicle. And while that's it for the 5 mods to overhaul the combat in Cyberpunk 2077, I'd love to know if there are any combat mods that you think deserve to be on this list, and also let me know which one was your favorite from this video. There's still plenty more combat-related mods that I plan to cover in the near future that I think you'll all love. So if you're new around here, feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell for the latest in Cyberpunk 2077. But in the meantime, if you'd like some more mods to check out, I'd highly recommend my 25 mods to overhaul quality of life in Cyberpunk 2077 video, where we cover a ton of mods to improve all aspects and annoyances of the game. But that's it for this video. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, this is Apoqsi signing off.